Okay, hello, good morning. I think we're okay to start. I'm Neil Adler. Nice to meet everyone. I'm really surprised to see so many people. I thought there'd be just a few people. I've never taught this course, and somehow introduction to Chromatic is not taught very much. When I learned 25 years ago, there was nothing. There were no teachers. There were no books. There were nothing online. No YouTube. No videos. And I had to struggle. My history with Chromatic is kind of interesting. I was a blues player in a rock band in Detroit and recorded and things like that. And then I decided I wanted to learn the Chromatic. And I went traveling for a year, and I carried one. And for a year, I tried to learn how to play. And in a year, I got nowhere. I put it on the shelf when I got home. It sat there for 20 years. Right, you can come on. And then 20 years ago, don't make a fuss, don't make a noise.
How you doing?
And 20 years ago, I just said, I can do this. And I started to fight with it and work at it and go through these steps that I'm going to share with you, how to learn how to play it. And little by little, I got there. The first 5 or 10 years were not easy. After, I'd say 5, 7 years, I sort of knew where the notes were. And since I was already a pianist, then it became easy. Then I was able to play about anything, and then I basically studied the College of Toots Thielmans, and I listened to everything he did and figured out everything he did, and that taught me everything I needed to know about tone, embouchure, control, artistry, all that stuff, which we're not going to talk about unless you have questions. Let me mention that if you're a beginning player and can play a little bit, or an intermediate, come tomorrow. I have a seminar called Masterclass. I did it last year. It was great. Everybody played a little bit and got positive, useful, supportive feedback to play better. And in real time, I mean in a matter of minutes, people played better, played differently, because they learned something about the art of playing the instrument. So we'll see if that happens tomorrow. Okay, so the first, let's see, anything else I want to say? So the first thing I want to say is you have to find what I call whole center. What whole center means is you have a hole. I prefer a round hole, but that's your choice. Your embouchure is a small, I use pucker, all I teach is pucker. The size of the embouchure of pucker is about that big. It's much, much smaller than the hole. And for a number of reasons, you need to place that airflow in the middle of the hole, the dead center of the hole. If you don't, if you're off to the side a little bit, you don't get a good tone. You get more resistance because you're blowing into the slide or into the reed plate, and nothing works too well. So here's center. Let's see, let me start with a C. Nice tone. Well, that's a little too much. I got though. Let me try G. The tone isn't as good. You feel the resistance, and it takes more air. When you're in the center of the hole, there's no resistance. You can feel the vibration of the reed through your mouth, and that's where you need to be to start. Regarding air, you want to use, I would say, a moderate amount of air, not a lot of air. If you're having to push hard, you're not in whole center, or there's something wrong with the harmonica, or you're trying too hard, and you will change the tone and you will change the pitch. You will end up bending it a little bit. You want the air to flow straight, front to back, easily, without a lot of resistance. Nice and easy, and that's what you want to work for. And until you get whole center, you're going to have trouble getting that tone. Now, the main reason whole center is important is because we're not just playing one note. Oh, and by the way, this is titled Introduction to Melody or something like that. The reason I said that is I'm not talking about groups of notes. I'm not talking about alternative positions like using chromatic for blues vehicles. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a single note playing. That's all we're talking about here. The reason that this whole center is important is because at some point we're going to move from that whole center to the next whole center. Looks like a funny face. The next note, and you're only going to be able to hit the second whole center if you know where you start from. This is very kind of fine stuff, but I really believe it's important. So when you're going to move from one hole to the other, you're going to go whole center, whole center. And how do you move from one to the other? Anybody have opinions?
Some people move their
Move your head, move your head,
Some
move your
people
head.
move their
How many people move their head?
Move your head if you move your head.
Move your head, move your head. How many people move your arms or hands? Oh, I like that. So here's what I've come to understand. I'm a kinesiologist in my past life, so I study all of the muscle and motor behavior. You're going to get better control, better accuracy by moving your arms and hands than your head. Your head does not have good proprioception or control, and you also change the angle of the air. So you want to move your hands and arms like it is a computerized solenoid-driven machine. I don't know if you can see that. There might be a little bit of tilting, there might be a little bit of head motion, but mostly it's arms and hands. Does it, I don't know if that comes across. It'll come across, but I really believe you want to get in front of the mirror and make sure your head is staying, in the beginning, perfectly still. And later on you can add a little bit of flexibility to it. And you want to control the hands and the wrist. Mostly it's arms and shoulders, is this. And it's very small amounts, but you really want to work towards getting there. Okay. And you're going to do that by doing things like arpeggios and scales. Even with scales, where there's not any big jumps, you want to control. So you can see when the jumps are and when it's not necessary. When that gets accurate, you're going to be able to play scales and arpeggios accurately. One other thing I want to share with you before we do some exercises is how to play legato. Playing legato is very important. Legato means connecting the notes. Certain notes are easy to play legato because the notes are connected. If you go E to F, you can make that perfectly 100% legato, one to the other.
So you keep the air moving.
You keep the air moving. And what you get is sort of one note here, and then the other note totally attached. Is that good? Well, it might be good for that one interval, but it's not good for all intervals because other intervals are going to require a slide change or a hole change, and there's going to be a big gap.
Blow and draw.
Like a blow draw, yeah, like a blow draw. You're not going to get that, right? So you're going to end up getting one, and then a big gap, and the other. So what happens when you have this and then this? It doesn't sound musical. Doesn't sound like a piano should sound, or a flute, or a violin, or a voice. Doesn't sound right. So what you want to do is put a little gap into all note changes. So even the two that are connected, you want to have a little gap. Do the same thing. E to F is just, you know, two blow and two drop. There's a little gap. It's not. Sorry. Let me use the slide. Those are totally connected. There's a little gap. There's a big gap. Let's say you go for a little gap. And then when you have the hard ones, where you have blow and draw changes, here's E to A. Whoa, bad. You want to work at it to make it as tight as you can, so there's a little gap, not a big gap. So eventually what you have is the ones that could be totally connected are like this, and the ones that are hard to connect are almost the same. Then when you play a scale, they all sound the same. By increasing the gap of the easy ones and decreasing the gap of the hard ones. Let's see. What should be about the same, all the same. That sounds much more musical than if I didn't make these modifications. I have a hard time even doing it. That makes sense. Yes, question?
So you're talking about articulating the attacks, and so you get a temporal gap between the notes. If you use your tongue for that kind of thing, or you just use your breath?
Right now, I'm only talking about breath. I'm not talking about any tongue effects, which is a whole other complex issue. So, tongue can be used for many things. Tremolo, vibrato, tone changes. None of that. I'm just talking about arm control and the same breath, exhale, inhale on all notes.
Spacing.
The spacing is, I'm just talking pure spacing. It's kind of a slightly advanced concept, but it's something to think about because it's, again, what beginning players do is they make the easy connections fast and then they make the hard connections not good at all, and then it just doesn't, it sounds wrong.
That's my question. Could you show me another example again of where you took an easy one, say two back-to-back blows, and you made it a little bit, put a little gap in it?
I'll try and see what will I play to do that.
Because I think that would be the secret to getting them all right, is take the easy one and put that.
What would I play? No, I don't play just two. Let's see.
Just two notes, though.
Okay.
Well, that's a harder one. You're blowing your own. I mean one where you're just going do-do-do-do-do,
Oh.
and then you make
Okay.
an easy.
Totally connected.
Okay.
Little gap.
Okay.
More gap.
I got you.
And then when I play a line, there you hear it.
Yeah.
Listen, remember these two notes. G to A. Big gap. Little gap. Little gap. The way I like it, because then they all sound about the same. You can't tell blow from draw. You can't tell
Right.
note change from adjacent notes. Yes.
You talk about the puckering technique, but tongue blocking is okay to use from Chromatic too, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, in my early stages, I tried a little tongue blocking and I found it very difficult and I couldn't make it work for me. And pucker seemed very easy and sensible. And so I just stayed with pucker, and you know, Toots is a pucker player and I'm a Toots disciple. So it was all pucker. And I know advanced players can do amazing things with tongue blocking and corner switching and all that stuff. That's just way beyond me. I'm a pianist, so I'm trying to turn it into a piano and do it simple. And I found I could do most things, even hard things, with pucker. Like here's the end of Bach violin partita. Let's see. If I can jump in. here's pucker and here's big jumps, and I'll see if I can make them all even. I haven't practiced this for a while, so it's a lot of it. You know it's going to sound better if I do this. You'll hear it better. Better out, better down. Terrible.
We understand.
You understand, right?
That gives us hope.
That's why we're all here. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. Just a little bit. Not perfect,
I
but
couldn't tell when you're blowing or blowing.
that's the idea. That's the idea, is to make it sound like the flute sounds. And I copied the flute, changed the key, but I copied the flute to play that. It's a good practice exercise. Yes?
On the adjacent notes, like going up, do you use the same C like all the time, or do you switch going up and going down?
Good question. So we have, after the first octave, we have 3 C's, right? In the first octave, we have 2 F's. We have a blow F and a draw F. Right, you understand that? Here's a blow F with the slide. Here's a draw F. So there's 2 F's. Which one do you use? What I teach my students, in the beginning, always use the slide for every F. And then we get, at the end of the octave, we have 3 C's. We have a draw C. Sorry, we have a, yeah. And we have 1 blow. Where am I?
You have 2 blow seeds.
Yeah, 2 blows, I'm sorry, 2 blows. Slide out tune. And 1 draw. For a number of reasons, I teach only use the slide for the F's and C's. A number of reasons, if you're interested. The draw with the slide is a stronger note. The draw with the slide is a more in tune note. The draw with the slide, like for these C's, avoids the 2 C's which are out of tune, and 1 instead of 2. So in the beginning, use the slide for every C and every F so that your scale is going to look like this. You'll see when I get to the C and the F. It will not slow you down.
Speed you up. Almost.
It's better. It just works better. It's more accurate. It's more even. It's easier to learn. So that's one thing you want to consider. Okay, I'm moving pretty fast, so I can take some more questions. Yes?
Okay, I noticed that you're using your pointer to slide, and it feels more comfortable maybe to use my thumb. Does it matter?
No, I don't think it matters at all.
Okay.
I would say the thumb tends to ulnarally deviate your wrist a whole lot.
Does
So,
it? Okay.
I have a friend who's going to be here who plays that way, but he has arthrogryposis, so he's like this, and he has a special adaptation. Whatever is comfortable, you want to be relaxed. Whatever feels relaxed. This seems to be
Feels good to
relaxed for
use.
me. But whatever works for you, as long as there's no tension, and as long as your motor ability can keep up, because it can get fast. So whatever works for you.
I've never been that fast, so that's why the thumb works for me.
Little by little.
Okay.
Little by little, and, you know, as in any instrument, you don't try to work for speed in the beginning. You try to work for accuracy. So if you're a beginner, you should be doing. One little error, even, smooth, little breaks. That's where you should work, and you should do that over and over again for
Ever.
years, almost forever. I mean, I still do it. I still work at it. It's just, technically it's that difficult. That's what you want to work for. Even if you want to get to, you know.
You may want to get to this level.
You're going to get there by doing. You get there by playing slow, as in any instrument. Yes.
When you have the two C's like side by side like that, it appears almost like an opposing octave, or no?
Say again?
You have the two C's side by side,
Yeah.
opposing octaves, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the instrument has that.
Yeah.
The standard. This annoying thing. You can tune that out. If you want to take the time, you can tune that out. But I never play that. I never want to hit those two notes.
Yeah.
It's a mistake.
Right.
It sounds wank.
Yeah.
So I've always been. Why would I want to get to this when I can do this? That C is so, that C draw is so sharp. It's just a problem. Yes?
So on the C's and F's, you don't have a preference for draw versus blow based on the amount you're going to be aspirating into the harmonica?
Yeah. So I say, you know, you always use the slide on the C and the F, but there are situations where the line causes you to be starved for air, or have too much air, or it's not going to be fast enough, and you have to modify that. So not in every case, not 100%, but for the learning, yes. And then later on, there will be situations where you will play either C or either F. And when you get to a higher level, when you work at a tune, you need to figure out what I would call fingering. You need to figure out which C and which F
Flows better.
to make it work right. So you work out the pattern. And a number of pieces, I do that. Particularly when I'm listening to Toots, I can do something and wow, it doesn't, I can't do that. And I figure out what he's doing and maybe he's I figure out what he's doing. I play it slow. I play it over and over again, and I figure out what he's doing. And he, you know, will go beyond that many, many times. But in general, slide works best. Okay. Any more questions? Okay. I'd like to try a playing exercise with everyone. It'll sound bad, but let's try it. Okay. If you try to get a number of harmonica players playing at the same time, you're not going to hear anything. I'm not going to hear anything. A good trick for you to practice. You want to hear yourself really well? Put in earplugs. If you put in earplugs, you will hear yourself much better. You'll be bone conducted and you'll hear yourself. Okay, let's do. Okay, hold on. At least.
Well, we're going to be hearing great harmonicas all week, so we might as well.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, turn your harmonicas in. Okay, we're going to try an exercise here. And everybody will be. Hold on, please stop.
Hey!
Hold on, I can't, nobody can hear me, and they can't hear you, and you can't hear yourself. So, hold on, we'll have a chance for everyone to play. Let's do an easy exercise to apply these things, the whole center, switch accurately with legato. Here are the first 5 notes of the tune, the nearness of you. Let me show you. I use a notation, maybe
Raise up a little higher.
I don't know.
That's,
Up arrow means below.
Hold it higher.
you hold it higher?
There you go.
Up, up arrow means below. This is very simple. Down arrow means draw, and a slash through an arrow means slide. So, thank you. That helped. So this is a tune in F, and the notes are C, C, F, G, A, C. Very simple. It's a piece of a major scale. It's 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. And if you play it correctly, hold on, everybody's going to get a chance. And we'll have a few people try it, and then we'll have everybody try it. But let's not start with everybody, because someone will get a headache. So here's how it's supposed to sound. Whole center, little gaps, sounds musical to my ear, sounds musical, that's what you shoot for. Not complicated, but control. Would an advanced beginner or intermediate like to try this? Would anybody like to try it? If you come to the master class tomorrow, I'm gonna want you to play something, so think about what you went to. Okay, nobody wants to try?
I'll try
You
it.
don't have to play it right.
And up is blow. Yes?
Yes, up and
Okay.
below. You can use the notes to C, F, if you know the notes. And when you learn the chromatic, somebody once asked me, do you have to know what note you're playing? Yes! Yes! 1,000 times yes! If you want to fake it and you want to play blues positions, that's different. You don't have to know. But if you're playing melodies, or you're playing individual notes, you have to know each and every note that you're playing. Okay, hold on, let's let the one person play.
Okay.
Back of the room. Hold on. Okay, so the last note gets a slide. This one note in the middle wasn't right. Try it again. That's an F, so that's a blow with a slide. That's a blow. Hit the F. Can you hit the F? Hit the first 2 notes. You're hitting an E. You're not using the slide, are you?
No.
You need the slide. That's the slide. There you go.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, sorry. Whoa.
Slide.
Yeah.
Good. Do it again.
No.
Draw with a slide. Do it again. Very good. Be patient, please. Do it again. Do it again. Smooth and even and relaxed. Hold on.
Oh.
Beautiful. Sound nice. Sound nice.
Thank
And
you.
eventually you'll do it with more expression, but that sounds great. Well, somebody else like to try. And the reason I do this is because the steps they go through to learn are the same ones most of you are going to go through. Yes, try. Nobody gets hurt. You're in the intermediate class. He's got it already. That's fine. How many years have you been playing? 500. Okay. Somebody else? He's got it down. That's good. Hold on, please don't play. Again?
That was good though.
It was very good. Very good. Even, smooth, correct. If somebody else want to try? It doesn't matter.
Jimmy Lee back
Isn't it
there.
great?
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
That's the F is a 2 below the slide. So that's what you get when you when you blow too hard, you get a bend. Play the C. Play the C again. Play it louder. What kind of harmonica do you have?
I don't know.
Is it 270? Yeah, it's only 270. Okay, try to get the first note. So she's having trouble getting a good tone of the first note. So it's either too forceful or the direction of airflow, because if you don't send the air directly, if you send it like this, it bends the note. So you try again.
Wait.
Okay, a little louder. Better. Still, it's a little, you're not quite whole center, I think. Okay, so you need to work on the whole center aspect to get the first note strong. Keep on.
I see the chart.
Good.
I can't do
Good.
short. That's gonna hear it.
Good. Very good. Much better.
My first time! I think it's late.
That makes me so happy.
They do.
You are why I wanted to do this class. I don't care about the experience.
Virtuoso.
That's very good.
Thank you.
And it takes a lot to get there. How long have you been playing?
Never.
It changed me. I think I was 5 years before I could do that. That's a 2 below slide. Very good. Very good. A couple more people want to try? It's good success here.
I'll try. He's got it.
Take your time. You got lost. Try it again from the beginning. C, F. F. You're not hitting the F. It's a 2 below the slide. 2 below. That's right so far. That's the F. G. Good. That's the A, which is the drop.
Yes.
Whoa! Another success.
Deals, I know it depends whether you have a 16 hole, 12, or 10. So what hole, can you tell us what
Yes.
hole if you have a 12?
It is much easier to learn on a 12 hole.
Okay.
For a number of reasons. I've got a bias. The 16, the lower octave, the first octave, takes a lot of air. It's hard to play with good tone. It's hard to modify the notes. And you got 2 C's to start off with the correct octave. Put that aside, use that for specialty songs.
Okay.
Learn with a 12-hole C harmonica. And also, as you play things, tell yourself what notes you're playing so that you can learn what note you're playing. Not just notation. I don't like tabs and notation because they don't teach you anything about music. This is okay because it's got the notes as well up above. But if you learn from notation, it's kind of an obstacle. If you can read music, it's great. Not necessary, but useful.
Do you ever tongue curl? You ever curl your tongue?
I don't think, maybe a little bit.
They say some people can't
I do
do
some
it.
tremolo and some vibrato.
Okay.
Sidle, 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 out, sidle. He gives me his hats. He gives me hats. For every 10 concerts I do, I get a hat. Okay, 1 or 2 more. Hold on. You succeeded. That's just great. Okay, okay, take your time. Close. Very close, okay. Okay, okay, something, so it's close, but something's going on.
Bleeding over?
Huh?
Am I bleeding over on the three?
Yeah, you're working too hard. You're pressurizing every note too hard. And your body is showing me as well that you're working too hard. So basically, you're gonna do that pattern 1,000 times and then you're gonna relax and eventually it's gonna be relaxed and the notes are not gonna bend and distort. That's it. That's it. We did it. Wow, great success. You guys come to the master class tomorrow because you have great subjects and I'll give you something easy.
I like being a subject.
You don't like being a subject? Very good. Anybody else? Okay, so let's see. We can try playing as a group, but the truth of it is that won't work. You won't hear yourself and I won't hear you. So if in the course of the next day or two you practice this and you have trouble, grab me somewhere and I'll listen and I'll make a suggestion. Or come to the master class. Eventually, the next level is to make it a little more artistic. It's not something we're talking about now, but what's the difference between this, which is our successful beginners, and this? Lots of stuff going on, but there's lots more you can do with it. But you got to start with, and you can add small amounts like this. What's that? That's a slurp. The second note, a slurp. Slurp. I'm hitting the E to the F. Those are two connected notes. The way we talked about that you shouldn't do. Yeah, using the slide from the E to the F. Another slide. Trill. Another slide.
What's the name of that song?
The nearness of you.
I have one question for you.
Yes.
If you've got a, my understanding, I got this in the mail last, and it's a C.
Yeah.
If you're playing, and you've got a two-step three, drop in, you can drop it a half a seven times. Yes, correct.
Can you speak up a little?
He has a question about the layout of the trochleus, is it
If
called?
I would have bend it,
I'll tell you.
that's a symmetry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If I want to go one, do I put a little
Okay, so the question about how to play certain scales using bends. A couple things. One, for a beginner, I don't recommend you use alternative tunings of any type. Alternative modified tunings or instruments like the trochleus or bebop tuner. I don't recommend you start that way. Start with a standard, what we call C tuning.
That's kind of what he has to solo tune, chromatic basically.
Is it perfectly chromatic?
Yes.
Okay, so he's wondering about how to make a whole step change, should you bend. You'll never be able to do a bend, like particularly a whole step, or even half step, bend perfectly. You'll get close. You'll be in the ballpark. And the tone will change. So when you have even notes, and then suddenly, sorry, I can't do it. Something like like that. For me, it doesn't work, it doesn't make sense. You're kind of putting a blues inflection into a ballad or so. Start with the straight scale, the straight notes, and then later on you can add things, but don't learn adding things. And in the beginning, there's not much area for bending, not much flexibility for bending. Particularly on a chromatic, which doesn't want to bend, bends poorly and sounds wanky when you do bend it. So I'd stay away from bends in the beginning, or do that on your diatonic or on your alternative tune chromatic or your valveless chromatic or whatever. But that's not the things I do.
If you learn the minor pentatonic scales, you can play a lot of blues and stuff.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, now we're talking about theory, music theory. When you know all the notes, when you know a complete chromatic scale, you have all the scales you need to play any kind of music. Major scale, minor Dorian, minor harmonic, whole tone, half diminished. You have all that stuff to go with, and you're right. Minor scale, particularly the minor Dorian, is the basis of so much music. Friday I play a concert with a trio, and we're going to play all blues-based jazz tunes. So you're going to hear several minor jazz tunes played as blues with the minor Dorian scale. Okay, any other questions? Let's do one more tune, and then use up our time. Here is another great tune to learn. It's this Toots anthem, I would say.
Also help to wear sunglasses.
Does? Oh, I see it does. Yeah, you look like a better player now.
The good sign goal.
Let's see. Yeah. So here is a layout. Yeah. So here's a layout for What a Wonderful World. Toots anthem, and it's an F. The reason why tunes work well in F is because the F note will sort of be in the lower third, but there's still notes below it if you need them. So Wonderful World starts out 5, 5, 1. So F's in a really nice area. The tone comes out good, and it goes up an octave.
I guess that
Let's
two
stop there.
is you're blowing in, it's kind of faded.
Okay, 2 is blowing with the slide.
What's,
It's an F note.
what's 4? Is 4
So draw with the slide.
draw the slide?
F, C, C.
Yeah, now you can do a little practice.
I see trees of food.
C, C, F, F, C, C, D. C, okay, that might work. So the notes are, it's basically an F octave with a fifth. 5, C, F, up an octave to the high C. Let's just try that. We're going to play this. Let's do this as an experiment. So we're going to try to play just these 3 notes. We're going to play the low C, the F, and the C. And we're going to do it as a group in unison. There won't be any extraneous notes. We'll all be together. Ready? Go. C. notes are all in the scale. So it goes from C, hits a D, and then walks down on the scale. Would somebody like to try it? Okay, hold on. Let's look.
Hold on.
Next victim track. Hold on. Got close. Wow. Okay, try again, fixing that error. Okay, let's try that again. We're having trouble with that. Let's see. Take your time. Take your time. Good. Pretty good. That's the starting place. Somebody else like to try? Yes.
I'm gonna cheat because I have the music in front of me. But I,
Cheater.
well, I just happen to have it on the book.
Whether it's in front of you or in your mind, it doesn't matter. You got the music
Okay,
and that's
but
it.
I haven't learned the draw F, draw C. So the way I learned chromatic was the standard scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C.
Okay, Jake, play it your way and show me that you don't need to do it my way.
Okay.
Show me that you don't need to use the slide.
Let me try that again.
Okay, pretty good. Do it again, but you had those two C's. Sympathetically
The middle
distorted
C and the
together.
high C.
Yeah, the high
C1.
C
Yeah.
has to get uneven. Okay, yeah, you added a note, that's fine. Yeah, it's close.
I'll try to learn your draw C, draw
I think
F.
if you work at it, it's gonna pay benefits.
Like I
mean,
said, it's not the
eventually-
way I learned it.
And the C with the slide, you almost don't have to hit it exactly on. You can slur a little bit to get in there.
See, when you make mistakes, you say that's your interpretation.
Yeah, all right, that's right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Let me straight out. Try it. Hold on, we got one or two more victims.
Okay?
Hold on, one player. You gotta get the second note on. Can you?
That's good, just louder.
Can you make it louder?
See, then it might have to
Okay,
be
so
very.
you got some homework to do. All right, let me wrap up a few things. Oh, one more player. Yeah.
Not to jump ahead too much, but I'm also buying into your use of the slide because it lets you play those grace notes.
Not only grace notes, but when you use the slide, the note you get is firmer. The F and the C with the slide are firmer than. It may sound pretty close, but that's without the slide. But with it, for me, they're easier to hit. They're more accurate. I can control the gap between them. Pitch is better. Yes.
Well, the other thing is, with the low C on the 4 and 5, if you're playing it and you don't know exactly where you are when your next hole is, you can really wind up playing the wrong note. Whereas if you use the slide in on the, B sharp or C, then you know exactly where you're at.
Make sense? Okay. A couple other things. If you play chromatic, know how to maintain it. Warm it up before you play. You have to warm it up or you're going to get slide condensation that's going to cause valve trouble. Put it under your arm for 5 minutes, put it in your pocket for 5 minutes. When you're done playing it, leave it out. Don't put it into a case where it's going to seal in the humidity and cause valve damage. Those things are very, very important for chromatic. What about cleaning? That's a whole other issue, but you should learn how. You should probably get a teacher if you're serious. It could be a Zoom teacher. You want to learn how to take apart this slide mouthpiece, clean it, alcohol or soap and water, and be able to put it back together and keep it working well. If you have a high quality instrument and you do those things, you shouldn't have too much trouble. Okay. And anyone who's interested in playing a little bit and getting feedback, come to the master class tomorrow. And lastly, I'd like you all to have a copy of my CD from last year. Great music, jazz vehicles, but not like standard blowing jazz, harmonica on most, and piano, and a quartet from San Francisco. Done in a great studio, $10, and you'll be happy with it. Okay, let me know if you have questions. See you have a question back.
What is the last note in the second example, please?
The last note in what?
The second example.
We can't see the chart back here.
You tell me, listen.
C.
Da 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 down the root of one. The second note, it's F. It's F. Oh, I didn't write them all up. Okay, I guess I'll get you. Thank you. Great class.